Hi there. I'm the Masked Gaymer. It's devoted to board gaming safely in the ongoing pandemic. Most of the content here is going to be solo. When I do have friends over, we will be masked. Today, I'm here by myself, so I can safely take the mask off. And we're going to do that, and then we're going to talk about Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane. I have no idea what this game is going to be. So this is my last name. Please don't stalk me and send me poopies and bags. So I was like, oh, Solomon, that's my last name. That sounds interesting. And then I was like, oh, there's a box. It says vampire. That sounds interesting. Apparently, these are inspired by the stories of R.E. Howard, who I've literally never heard of. I know that this company, Mythic Games, is shutting down, but I don't know much about all of that drama because apparently all this happened before I really went on a delve into the board gaming universe. So I literally had no idea it existed, but I do know there's a lot of drama around it. And, you know, someone on Board Game Geek was like, I want this thing you have. And I was like, okay, let me see what you have for trade. Oh, Solomon Kane. There's a box with a vampire, and here it is. So that also means that my cards for this are all sleeved because the person sleeved them. So I feel guilty for the box that's on their way to them not having sleeves. I swear I will venue money or something like that. I feel like I made a steal off of this. All right. So I've read the instructions, and we are going to start playing through the story Rattle of Bones and see how far we get. I'm going to stop after about an hour and give my early review, and then maybe later on we'll do a review video. So apparently this is mostly a story game with some combat scenes. What's cool, I hope, about it is instead of being like your typical map dungeon crawler or what have you, there's this one character, Mr. Solomon Kane, and the rest of the characters are virtues that help guide him along the way. So I'm playing as courage, and I can still have temperance, prudence, and justice off to the side. And apparently I can use the abilities on their boards and summon them and do all of that stuff, but only I have card management to worry about. Now, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be harder doing that based on what I saw in the instructions, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll all be fine. But we're just going to roll with it and see what happens. I have the rule book close by, ready to go. It has a rules reference and an index. We love indexes. I've got 2 player aid cards that I swapped out from a sealed pack that I'm assuming was an errata pack. Let's see what Solomon Kane has to do for us. So we're going to start with chapter 1A, and this is a story chapter. So in a story chapter, we don't have a board to worry about, but I'm gonna pop this smaller version up so we can talk about how we have the 3 characters and they have their abilities, and this is my stats track. If my strength, clarity, or compassion goes below 0, I die. If my danger goes above 10, I die. Then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. If I run out of this deck of 2 darkness cards, things end. And yeah, so anywho, let's read The Cleft Skull Inn. Solomon Kane's long stride devours the miles as shadows lengthen over the black forest. He walks a quiet, lonely trail, though some miles back he gained a companion of the road. Gaston Lormont. Okay, I get to do bad French accents. A dandy swordsman. Night shrouds the forest, and their thoughts turn to shelter, food, and rest. Ahead, a light twinkles through the trees, and they soon find themselves before a long, low, rambling building of heavy logs. A tavern. A sign creaks, swinging in the light breeze. It depicts a cleft skull. This place has, that's not the French person, that's Solomon. This place hath a foreboding aspect, meseemeth, Kane mutters darkly. Meseemeth. Language has come a long way. Laban ignores the Puritan's gloomy observation and calls out, "Landlord, ho!" All right, I won't make you suffer with my bad accent work. The door swings open and a bearded face peers out. The owner of the face steps back and motions his guests to enter, with a grudging gesture, it seems. Within, a candle gleams on a table and a fire smolders in the hearth. Food and wine are served, after which the landlord leads the weary travelers to their chamber. So in this chapter, we have to illuminate Solomon's path, and that looks like these 5 little spots, and we have to put light tokens on those. And if his path is bright, we'll go to one option, and if his path is dark, we'll go to the other option. And if I remember correctly, bright means that I have at least 3 tokens on the board, and dark means I have 1 or 2 tokens on the board. Yes, so I need to get at least 3 tokens on the board to make Solomon's path right. Cool. So how do I do that? So first, we have 2 darkness cards in the deck, which means I only have 2 turns to get to a brightness of 3. And then we're going to flip Discovery card 200, which says, ominous feeling. Something is very wrong. The place, the atmosphere. Solomon must inquire further into the mystery. Now, I can use this card to give myself +1 danger and add 1 darkness card to the bottom of the pile. So if I'm doing badly with getting the light, I can give myself more turns. So we are going to start my first turn as Courage. I trigger start of turn effects, of which there are none. I'm going to roll 3 dice. Oh, do I start with any cubes on this cloud thing? Hold on. Let me see. Cloud. Let's see. It does not say. It does not say. It does not say. It does not say. It says you can add whatever you want there to make things easier. Okay, well, we're just going to see what happens. So we've got dice tray. We've got 3 dice, and I have rolled 2 crosses and a outer circle hardy thing. I think it's pain or determination or something. That is, this is fear, but I can flip it and turn it into bravery. These crosses can count as a wild, but I can only use 1 wild per action to stand in for something. So with these 3 dice, here are all the things I can do. I can choose to re-roll or flip one of them, which seems kind of pointless. Fear lets me add a darkness. I have something that will let me move, but that's irrelevant. Move, irrelevant. Fight, irrelevant. Place courage onto the board, irrelevant. Fight, irrelevant. Justice has one that will let me place an ice and words, Greg. Use your words. A light token. I can also talk with Justice or place her on the board. I can place, with Prudence, I can place a light onto a Virtues dashboard, which helps increase their standard thing. I can move someone else or place Prudence. And Temperance, I can move or move 2 towards something or other. I can explore or place Temperance on the board. So it seems like most of those options are not going to be important except for Justice's intuition. And Justice's intuition needs a wild, a cross, which I have, a bravery, which I don't have, and a pain. So I definitely want to try to make that happen. So what I'm going to do here, and I hope this is all right, I can choose to flip this fear to bravery. So I now have a bravery token. And let me switch this view here while we talk about this. So I now have a bravery token here. So now I have a bravery token, I have a cross, and I have a wild. And I'm assuming I can use this as a wild and this as a cross, because that's what logically makes sense to me. So we're going to say that's the truth. And that lets me place a light token onto my objectives. And now I'm partway there with what I need to do. So I formed my dice pool, and I've allocated, and I've allocated my dice. Now I resolve those actions, which I did. I can choose to keep or discard my remaining cards. So since I'm not actually on a map, I feel like moving and fighting is not going to be useful to me. So I'm going to discard both of those. And then I'm going to place the 2 cards that were in my hand here. And then I draw back up to a hand of 2. So now I have one that lets me move and one that lets me place 2 green cubes. And green cubes are luck, and they can be used to make random numbers appear better. So that's somewhat useful. And the new things I got in my hand let me add to my strength. Add to my strength. Or place light. So now I have another way to place light once I get it into play. All right. I discard any of my dice that are not in the reserve. So these dice are all discarded. I flip my turn token over to show that my turn is over, but that's irrelevant because I'm playing with just one character. And then I let darkness take a turn. So I flip the first darkness card. Oh, Shisa. Okay, I forgot to do something. So I'm supposed to put starting values on these on this board here to say what my strength and all that stuff is. Oh, okay, I think this is one of those symbols. Those are purple symbols. This is okay, I think this is what these things are supposed to be. 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe that these are the trackers. So red, my strength starts at 7. My clarity starts at 5. My compassion starts at 8. And my danger starts at 3. So that means I also get like bonuses and subtractions to test with that, but we'll worry about that when we see it. But anywho, so this card makes me lose 1 compassion during story mode. And now I only have 1 more turn to get 2 more light there. And that's going to be a bit of a challenge. So it looks like I'm going to end up having to use this ominous feeling card to add some darkness in on this turn. And I'm going to need fear to do that. So this could be bad already. I could lose this thing right off the bat. So let's see. So we got a wild, and we got a bravery, and we got a, what did we call that? Fear? No, pain. Pain, fear, pain. Okay. So let's see what we can do. So what can we do? What can we do? So we can save things for the next turn. So I think what we're going to want to do, because we know we need a pain and a bravery for intuition, I'm going to reserve those there for the next turn and then use my wild token on ominous feeling, which is going to raise my danger by 1, and let me add a darkness card to the bottom of this deck. Hope I'm doing this right. Okay, so we've done that. So now, I don't really have any interest in this intervention card. So I am going to discard that, replace it with Vigilance, which is a card that will let me place a light, and draw a card. Now we're going to do Darkness again. So we draw this next Darkness card. Story mode, lose 1 clarity. Well, things are getting murky out here. This seems pretty straightforward and simple. Oh, before I did that, I was supposed to discard this die. So now I have 2 dice here. And I will get to roll 3 more. Now, I don't know how it's ever going to be possible to get up to 3 because my math is bad today, but we'll see. All right, so I'm starting my next turn, which will be my last turn if I don't get two thingies there. So I think I'm going to have to use that ominous feeling yet again. All right, so we got a wild, and we got 2 fears. So we're going to take a bravery. No. We're going to take a fear and a pain, and I'm going to subtract 1 strength to trigger this vigilance ability. I am going to save this wild faith, and I'm going to place a die on ominous feeling again. So we are going to add 1 danger, add 1 darkness card, and add 1 light. Cool. So we're illuminating the path. We're keeping the darkness somewhat at bay. Sure. So these get discarded. This card must get discarded because it was used. So I'm going to add this card into play, which at least has some kind of use for me. Ooh. This one lets me get 2 extra bravery dice that I can put into the reserve, and that means I can use them that turn? Does that mean I can use them that turn? I don't know. Let's see what we think. Discard any dice that are not in the reserve. Add any dice you had in the dashboard in the reserve to form your pool. Okay, so I think I can't use it that turn. I have to use it the next turn. But sure. All right, so we've done that. That was the second thing. We added a darkness there. That was the end of my turn. We emptied my pool, and then we're going to check the next darkness. All virtues discard their right hand action. Oh, goodbye, additional strength. Could have been worse. And now it is my turn again. So again, we're going to roll 3 dice. I like this simplified dice placement thing happening. What is that? Oh, that is okay. So that this empty circle isn't a do anything. It's actually determination. So this is my dice pool, and I have to figure out how to do a pain, a wild, and a bravery to get to light 3. And I think it's very straightforward. I'm going to use my flip to change this determination to pain. And then I'm going to put that pain, and I'm going to put that faith, and I'm going to put that bravery, and I'm going to place 1 light token. And now my path is going to be bright when that darkness runs out. Unless that darkness removes a light. So the question is, do I want to hedge my bets and try to get to 4, or just see what that card says? And I think we're just going to flip the card and call it a day, because we want to see what else this game has to offer. And of course, this card says remove 1 light. Bye. So now that was the last darkness card. So we're out of time, and my path is dark. So I'm proceeding to 2B. Cool. Oh, goodbye, friends. Okay, this is chapter 2B story, Insecure Quarters. Oh, I have to replace this card at the end of my turn. I forgot to do that before, so it's going to be this one, and then we draw one to replace it. Okay. Oh, and I could have, things don't leave my reserve, I think. So I think I still had this in the reserve, and we could say that I put that in the reserve. Let me double check that. Sorry, this is what happens when I play a game for the first time. I'm like, do I know the rules? Do I know the rules? Do I know the rules? Yeah, that doesn't, it just keeps going. I think it keeps going. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Well, let's just, I guess we'll say it does, and hopefully somebody watches this and tells me if I am wrong. All right, we're just gonna move on. Insecure Quarters. Oh, story time. Black shadows waver on the walls as they follow their silent host down a long, dark hall. The stocky, broad body of their guide seems to grow and expand in the light of the small candles he carries, throwing a long, grim shadow behind him. At a certain door, he halts, indicating that this is the men's sleeping quarters. Kane and Ramon enter, and the host follows to light a candle for them from the one he carries. He then lurches back the way he came, although his stare seems to linger on an uncomfortable moment. His stare seems to linger an uncomfortable moment longer than Solomon would have liked. In the chamber, the two men glance at one another. The only furnishings are a couple of bunks, a chair or two, and a heavy table. Let us see if there's a way to make fast the door, says Kane. I like not the look of mine host. Mon Dieu, says Larmont, you are timorous, monsieur. Kane scowls. I like not being murdered in my sleep, he answers gruffly. So in this chapter, we are only going to get one darkness card. I'm not going to reshuffle the whole deck because I'm just not. And we're going to reveal another discovery card, Discovery 201. This one says, Distrust. I have seen you somewhere before, says Kane, though I cannot recall where. Kane's eyes deepen as he continues. I am a light sleeper and a slumber with a pistol at hand. The Frenchman laughs. Ha ha ha, I was wondering how monsieur could bring himself to sleep in a room with a stranger. Ha ha ha, I am subjecting you to the accent. I obviously must. As an action, I can lose a compassion to change a reserved or donated dice to a fear symbol, which will help with the ominous feeling card and help me stack that out. Okay, that's interesting. So again, I have, turn on the camera. I have 5 light to fill on this board. So let's see how this is going to play out. I'm just going to move him here and put the dice tray here so that we can all see those dice a little bit easier while we do this. I luckily still have these 2 reserve things, but I only have 1 turn and we still got to get 3 brightness. And now I know it's 4 because of what happened before. So we got something of no use to us. We got a determination and 2 pain. Now that does give me enough potentially to place a light. I'm going to re-roll this determination symbol because I don't really care about it. And that gets me a wild, and that's going to give me what I need. So we are taking the bravery from the reserve. We are taking the faith from the reserve. We are taking the pain from our roll and putting it on intuition, which is going to let us place a light. We're taking the wild from ominous feeling. You know what? We're going to take the wild from ominous feeling and put it on the danger track, which lets us add a darkness. But our danger is getting pretty bad, so that's not great. And we're going to reserve this pain because pain is what helps us get light. And we add the light to the path, and that's our turn. So these dice are going to go away, and we're going to reveal a darkness card. Oh, it was +1 danger. So yeah, okay, so we should now be at 7 because I went down instead of up. So that should have been 5 to 7. So things are dangerous for us over here. Okay, cool. Not cool. Not cool at all. And we're gonna do this again. So we get a fear, a wild, and a pain. So we are going to flip this to a bravery. We're going to put a bravery here. We're going to put the pain from the reserve on intuition. We're going to put the fear on ominous feeling. We're going to reserve that wild for the next turn. And that is going to add 1 danger and a darkness card. And wait, did I add a? Yeah, ooh, that has to go there to place the light, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay. But we get to place a second light. Okay, all these go away. So the next turn, we don't have much options in front of us. Oh, top card. And we are going to 1 virtue, discards all dice from their reserve. It's a good thing I don't have any dice in my reserve that actually doesn't mess me up too much. All right, I'm getting the pacing of this now and starting to see how it goes, which is nice. Okay, we are going to we're going to reserve this bravery. We're going to flip this bravery to fear for ominous feeling. And we're going to lose 1 compassion to transform this die. We're going to reserve this die. You lose the 1 compassion from distrust to transform it into a fear so that we can then use it for the darkness the next turn, no matter what else happens. Cool. So we get +1 danger, and I can't afford to do this again because if I get 1 more danger, I'll lose the entire game and have to start over, which is okay because I can then kind of re-envision how I'm playing this and get to a review of this. But I really wanted to hopefully get to a map and talk about a map, but you know, we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're taking these dice back. Reveal the next darkness card, which is remove a light. This game ain't messing around. It ain't messing around. It ain't messing around. Okay. And we're going to roll these 3 dice and see if we can survive another. Now, we can go up to 10. We just can't go over 10. So it's not necessarily that terrible. Okay. So we have enough to add a light with this, which we're obviously going to need to do. We are going to put this reserved thing into ominous feeling to give us a darkness. We're going to use our flip to make this a bravery for the next round. We're going to add a light token here. We're now maxed out on danger. We're adding 1 more darkness. If this next darkness card says +1 danger, we've died. But we're going to see what happens. And it says all virtues, discard 1 active action card. That's kind of okay. Like, we're just not getting enough. We're not going to get, we're too close to the edge to get enough ability to really plop any of these cards down. So that's all fine. We don't get to draw yet though, because it's not technically the end of our turn. All right. So now we're going to do this again. And I guarantee you that this next card is going to be -1 light because we absolutely, no matter what, cannot add more danger. So, oh no, oh no. I rolled a whole bunch of bravery, which does nothing for me. So we're going to use our 1 reroll on one of those braveries. Got another bravery. Got another bravery. And yeah, so we can't stop the darkness any more than that. So we're going to reserve this faith, and our path is dark, going to be dark yet again. Well, all right. So let's see what the darkness has in store. Oh, wow. -1 clarity, compassion, strength. One of them I have to pick. So we're going to lower the strength because I need the clarity for this just trust thing. And then we're going to proceed to the dark answer of 3B. So we're not dead yet, but things look like they're about to get a little harsher here. So we do get to a scene. What happened here? Let's go to the talkies. Taking the candle with them, they go into the corridor, sensing more ominous at play. Utter silence reigns, and the small candle twinkles redly and evilly in the thick darkness. Mine host hath neither guests nor servants, mutters Solomon Kane. A strange tavern. What is the name now? These German words come not easily to me. The Cleft Skull? A bloody name, I faith. They try the rooms next to theirs, but find nothing. At last, they come to the room at the end of the corridor and enter. It is furnished just like the rest, save the door is provided with a small barred opening and fastened from the outside with a heavy bolt, secured at one end to the door jamb. There is something amiss here, Kane mutters. Look! The floor is stained darkly, and one bunk hacked to pieces, great splinters torn away. Men have died in here, says Kane somberly. So I need to now place a bunch of figures and a board and do like an actual setup, which is cool. So we have tile 23B, which is going to go like this. Oh, I'm going to do this little pip, pip, pip while we do it. We've got 22B, which is going to go like this. I'm going to have to move this guy over here. And we have 10A, which is going to go like this. So we have a little door here and a door here, and then some other things that we can't quite walk across. We have a compass, which tells us that north is north because we need help to know that north is north. We have a shadow, and we'll talk about those in a second. Another shadow here. We have Le Gaston, who is this dude with a candle. We have our hero Solomon Kane, and we have another shadow here, and then a bunch of tokens that I have to figure out what they are and get out. So I think these are exploration tokens. Yes, these are exploration tokens. So we have one here, one here, one here, one here on the table, one on this bed, none in that room. And then we have these spawn spots. And I don't know if there's tokens for these. It doesn't seem like it, but maybe I just haven't gone through this whole box properly yet. But it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't look like it. So it looks like I just have to like refer to the map for that. So Gaston, it says Seeker and Vandal with these symbols, but I don't really know what that means. Maybe we'll see a card that shows it. And then we can do an explore test. And if we get a score up to 5, we get to do a different page depending on what we find. And we have to find a door bar. If we get 2 stars, we get one outcome. 1 star, we get another outcome. And these shadows, what they do is if they're in a space next to Solomon, he will get -1 to all of his tests. And if they land on Solomon, we have to reveal, and they disappear, and we reveal an event card from this pile, which is probably going to be absolutely terrible, I'm assuming. So, we get new discovery cards now. So discovery card 200 and 201 are gone. Now we're going to draw 202 and 206. So maybe there would have been other options if things weren't quite as dark, but they're dark. And our darkness deck for this act is going to be 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's also something called nightmare cards that makes this deck even worse, but we're not going to talk about those because we're struggling enough as it is. All right, so let's see discovery card D202. Ransacked room. The floor is stained darkly. The walls in the one bunk are hacked away in places, great splinters having been torn away. Men have died in here, says Kane somberly. That is exactly what the story said. All right. When the last exploration token is removed from the board, reveal D209 and discard this card. On D206, so this is bad because I don't have enough danger left, and I'm gonna die. All right. Anyway, Gaston Lamam. Gaston was of a different type entirely, bedecked with lace and plumes, although his finery was somewhat stained from travel. He was handsome in a bold way, and his restless eyes shifted from side to side, never still an instant. So we're going to look up these keywords, seeker and vandal, and we're going to assume that that's what we're supposed to be doing. So seeker X. At the end of each virtue turn, seek one area towards the nearest X. Okay. And then vandal X. Vandals are destructive individuals who want to destroy something. At the end of each virtue turn, each vandal that has not moved this turn will remove one end token from the area they're in. As soon as the last one is removed, they take the action or reveal the card X, but there is no action or card to be revealed. Okay, so he's going to like destroy the stuff that we have to find. Thanks, Armand, Gaston, Larmand, whatever your name is, Mister Poo Poo. Okay. Yikes. All right. Now, I have a card in my hand that will let me remove all of the shadows from play if I get the right thing on it, so that's pretty cool. I just want to review the rules for what explore means and how that's going to work. So the base value of a test will be listed on the card that triggers it. All tests are written on the same format. Total is 5 or less. Discovery, the minute you're taking, wait, hold on. Tests can be taken as SK. Oh, SK uses the highest version, the number on the right on a test. But how do I get a skill of more than 7? Okay, so I add the clarity modifier, which is currently 0, to the explore action in order to explore. And I can use Temperance's inspection to explore with like a higher base skill, is what it looks like to me. And yeah, I guess that's the situation here. We'll see if I figure this out. I don't really. Are we sure that I just draw a card and I don't have a base thing? Because find the base value. Base value. Sorry, y'all. Trying to make sure I don't really mess this up. Base value. Not in the. These are just keywords. Okay. It doesn't. All right, I think I just get to use modifiers based on shadows in the location. I can add temperance to the board, and that would let Solomon get a +2 to his skill. But yeah, we're just gonna have to kind of roll the dice and see what happens here. So we got 2 faith tokens and a pain token. So, okay. I can't use this +1 danger to move. I'm going to spend, I have these too. I have these as well. All right, I am going to just spend all 3 of these because this will let me move Solomon 2 spaces towards an explore token so he can just go straight onto this one. Now, in order to explore, I need a bravery and a wild. And I can do that. I'm just going to do it so we can kind of start to see what happens here, right? So we're going to explore that space. And so we're going to just draw a card from here, and the number on the right, which is the number 4, is going to be the result of my skill test, because I always get the number on the right as the hero, Solomon Kane. So I did that, and I am going to turn to 203, because I'm going to take discovery card 203, because up to 5 brings me that card. So nothing. Kane finds nothing and refocuses, renewing his determination to find something. All virtues will place 1 determination into their reserve, but I'm only playing by myself, so I just get the 1 here as far as I'm aware. Maybe that's wrong in the rules again. That's going to be one of those things I'm going to have to figure out. And then this token is going to get placed onto Gaston Larmand's card. Okay. So we now know that D203 is going to be nothing and do that effect. I'm sure we're going to come up with that one quite a few more times. All right, so that was the end of that. We are going to discard this because there's no way we're ever going to get the danger that we need. And we're going to put this into play and draw 2 more cards into the hand. And this is going to be really good, because if I can get 3 braveries, I can just wipe all of these 3 shadows off the board and move on with my life, which would be nice. But we're going to see what this, we're going to take all these dice back. This is in the reserve, and we're going to see what the darkness card has in store. All right, so we don't do the storied card on top anymore. Now we have things that happen if something is near me and if something's away from me. So there is nothing near me. So away from me would be sentries, scouts, which doesn't matter. And then the closest shadow will move 2 spaces towards me to engage, which I believe is this one. Why does it say seeker? Oh, that's at the end of the virtue turn. So at the end of the virtue turn, he does the seeker thing. Blah, 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 before the darkness happens. And that lets him move 2 spaces towards the nearest thing. So he's going to go stand on the bed. And then on his next turn, he's going to remove that token. So I read the closest shadow moves 2 to engage. And then there's a bunch of stuff about hunters. And we don't have any hunters. So none of that matters. So now we are going to go back to our turn again. So we're going to roll 3 dice. And we're rooting for a lot of bravery, but we don't get a lot of bravery. We get a wild and a thing and a thing and a thing. Now I am going to flip one of these to a bravery and put that here, because I want to try to deal with getting rid of these shadows before they make my life more difficult. And I don't have enough for that movement 2. I can spend this determination and this fear to move 1 space, which is kind of dangerous because it's getting me closer to those shadows. I have a wild left over, which can't really do anything useful on its own. So I'm going to reserve it just in case it's useful on the next turn. I can't explore because I can't. And we're going to, Gaston Larmand is going to take that token away. I'm going to remove these dice. I'm going to flip the next darkness card. There is nothing near me. The closest shadow moves 2 to engage, which will be this one. 1, 2. And now it's very, very close to me. And that's it for that. So this would be a good turn for me to get the thing that lets me remove all shadows. It's not going to happen. I got a fear and 2 wilds. So it is going to happen. I'm going to flip the fear to be bravery. We're going to put the bravery here, put the bravery here, put the wild here, and all 3 of those shadows are removed from play. So I'm now very, very safe, which is nice. There's really not much that I can do with the 2 faith that I have. I'm going to save it mainly because that means I'm going to have 5 dice instead of 2 dice. Assuming I'm playing this game correctly. I still don't know if I am. And I guess that's where the complaints, some of the complaints have come from. Like, I'm definitely making leaps of faith about how this works, for sure. Gaston's going to move to this space here. We're going to remove these, read the next card. There's actually nothing on the board. So unless this said to spawn a shadow, nothing's going to happen. Now, I don't know what the difference between threaten and engage is. I'm assuming threaten. Oh, threaten means it would move adjacent to me instead of into my space. But there's nothing nearby. There's nothing far away. Oh, I've been doing something wrong. So whenever there's something that says symbol, the symbol on the bottom, I was supposed to be spawning another shadow here. Now, I already cleared them all off the board, so it doesn't really matter now. But in this case, I would need to spawn a shadow here. So they're going to come back to get me. Okay. So now we go to my turn. We still have a few more turns left. I'm going to roll these dice, hopefully explore this space. Even better if we can put 10 on, and we get 2 fear and 1 wild. How did I even explore before? I moved 2. I explored X. How did I explore X? I don't think I was actually supposed to be able to do that. I think I was supposed to, oh, and this had to go away. So I would have replaced it with one of these. I think that I had to, I had to put a light onto inspection before I could do that. So I kind of mussed that up, but we're just going to keep going onwards anyway, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this faith and this, we're going to take this faith, this to the bravery side to now place a token here. So now that will work this next time. And now we can take this faith and this wild. And now we can do that to explore 1 because we have the light on it. So, I think I was just doing explore 0 when I did that before, is what I was doing. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to explore 1. 1 plus 3 is that. So once again, it's nothing. I believe that what that meant was I get to put a determination into my reserve, and this goes onto this pile here. We are going to stop at this point in time, mainly because I need to do a bio break, and I don't want to do any kind of editing because I'm lazy. So instead, we're just going to talk about what I think about this so far. The story is kind of cute. I like the dice placement system. I feel like playing this solo is not going to be my jam. I feel like it's definitely I want to try to play it with controlling more than 1 virtue, see how that goes. I want to see how combat goes, which I haven't gotten to yet. But like overall, like I feel like this is a little bit of a unique experience. It's not like stuff I've done before. I like this, everybody pitching in to control the 1 character. I kind of dig it. I'm going to play through the rest of this chapter, do some research online, see what I've been doing wrong, and then I'll do a full review a little later on. So for now, that is Greg, the Masked Gamer, about to take a major bio break and saying like, subscribe, and don't forget to keep your health bars full.